Now that you're making the most of your time, it's time to make the most of your jobs too. Every job site can be a launchpad for even more business. Turn every job site into a lead machine. You'll learn practical ways to turn one customer into 3, using simple tactics and tools you already have. Instead of constantly chasing new leads, we're talking about getting the most out of every opportunity with the customers, job sites, and neighborhoods where you're already working. Alonzo Adams, a multi-brand franchise owner and nationally recognized cleaning industry leader, and Ryan Null, founder of a $1 million lawn care business featured in Forbes, are here to show you how a few simple habits can keep your pipeline full and your business growing the smart way. Let's dive in.
Hi, I'm Alonzo Adams. I'm here with Ryan Null. We're both coaches at Housecall Pro, and we're also both business owners. And today we want to talk about marketing.
Yeah, particularly re-engagement, getting those customers to come back. You spend so much money, I feel like, getting customers, especially now with the price of Google going through the roof.
Yes.
We just ignore the customers we already have, which is
all the time.
Leaving money on the table.
All the time. The biggest thing is when you bring that up, I think about the change of the economy right now.
Right.
So the economy is changing and people are being a little bit particular about how they spend their marketing dollars.
Right.
And so we should really be smart and make the right decisions. And we really need to think about where we're going to allocate those funds to and how we're going to actually operate with that budget, right?
Well, and tell me if you felt this too, because the last couple of years, I feel like we've really had to go from sort of customer service centric to way more sales focused. Like those sales dollars, they're still coming in, but it feels like we're working 10 times as hard.
Yes, really hard. And I think because we're not actually getting our entire staff involved.
Yeah.
I would love to see more of these companies coming up with a way. How do we bring in our staff and get them involved and make the process even easier?
Right. And so when it comes to marketing, making more money, getting more customers, I really feel like that re-engagement stuff. How do we get those old customers, people we worked with before, back into the fold?
I would like for you to share a story with. We were both having tea.
Yeah.
Tea, coffee, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're telling me about this company that you recently purchased.
Right. Purchased this carpet cleaning company in Las Vegas. And this was the main thing that we did. So they had this big list of customers using Housecall Pro. And the one thing that we changed to turn their marketing around to actually get the phone to ring was just sending out a text message through Housecall Pro, which was great. We broke it into some little segments, a couple hundred customers at a time. And we went from like nothing on the books to all of a sudden they were booked out for 2 or 3 weeks.
So why weren't they doing this before?
Well, I just think people don't know, especially when you're kind of at that level where we sort of purchased this company, you got a couple of employees, you're busy out there trying to hustle.
Right.
And we just miss what's right in front of us, right?
Right.
Emails, text messages, all that stuff is just sitting right there, but it's kind of hard to get to. I mean, not hard to get to, it's just hard to know about. Right?
Exactly. So this company, again, they were in business for how long?
They'd been in business for almost 20 years.
20 years?
Right.
And they weren't taking advantage of the customer base?
Right.
Because you actually had a number. They had how many customers and how many of those customers they were not taking advantage of.
Well, and that's the other piece too. So they had about 6,000 customers that they had worked with. Weren't taking advantage of any of the remarketing.
Wow.
But then we start drilling down on data collection and the importance of that and kind of systematizing that. They only had about 1,000 emails.
Yeah.
No, sorry. About 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 emails and only about 100 cell phone numbers. So it was not great.
I see that all the time, especially with our coach clients. And we actually go through to scrub the list because you got to scrub the list. And when you're scrubbing it, you find out that one, they're not even cell phone numbers.
Right.
These are actually home numbers or even work numbers.
Yeah, you just texting grandma's landline and it ain't working. She ain't responding for some reason. But yeah, you gotta figure out, scrub that list, make sure it's accurate, make sure it's up to date. There's plenty of tools that do that out there for you. But like having that data is so important.
It is
So important.
And you don't want to have those bad AOL addresses or what the bad
Yahoo.com,
Hotmail,
Hotmail,
you don't you don't want that. And then too, do you ever notice when some of those people, they do have a bad list and it's bouncing, but they don't even check to see that those emails are never even reaching the clients.
Right. And it can really hurt your email engagement. A lot of people don't realize this. Those old emails that you're emailing, when they start getting those bounces back, there are groups that keep track of those bounces and who's marketing to who. And if they see you sending all this email that's just kind of going to nowhere, they start marking you as spam. So the other real emails actually started getting less engagement. When you don't do that scrubbing the list. Not to talk about data cleanup here, but so much.
But it's huge because it's wasted money.
Right.
You know, and you're actually thinking you're doing something, or you think it's not even being effective. Because I have times where my guys are like, "Why would I want to do email marketing? It doesn't work." And then they're like, "Nobody's even opening them. I guess they're not opening them. They're not even getting it." You know?
Yeah. A lot of times, no. And that's a big piece is that we see a lot in the coaching world is, hey, let's implement this strategy to do this thing, whatever it is. Postcards, emails, text messages. They send one text message, one email, one postcard, and they're like, nobody called me. And it's like, if you're running a text message campaign, we're lucky to get like 1%.
That's
like, that's a really good postcard campaign, right? So you can't just send out one and just hope that it goes well. So, a lot of times what I'll see is they'll say, I sent that postcard to 500 people. And it's like, you got 2 calls. And it's like, that's exactly what I would expect. You got to send that to 10,000 people.
That's right.
And then whatever happens there, you can't just send one. You got to test out, do like 10 different iterations. Everybody, 1,000 goes to wherever. Keep track of which one's calling which phone number associated with that postcard. And whatever's working, you take that one. That's your main guy. Because this one got 1%. This one got 0.5%. This one got, 0.25%. Take whichever one does the best. Start engaging with that one. And then start testing the other variants, right?
What you hit on something important. You said the variants there because, you may have that one postcard design or that one offer. Sure. And you're just killing it. Yeah. And it's like, where's the other variation of it? Right. And I always think it should be somewhere at the minimum 2 variations. Right. If you could have 3 or 4, that's golden. Right. When you get in business as an entrepreneur, I look at it like this. It's risk-taking. Mm-hmm. It's all risk-taking, And some of the marketing, you're not 100% sure it's going to work. Right. But you have to take the shots. Yeah. Well, you got to be dedicated to it too. Yes. You start an SEO campaign, like I'm the SEO guy. So like, you'll get people that get into that and they're like, okay, I'm month 1. Like, am I making money what's
yet?
Happening?
What's happening? But it might take a year for like an SEO campaign to work. It's the same thing with emails, text messages. Like text messages is a little bit more instant. Emails a little bit more too, but like postcard campaigns and things like that, they need some time to percolate. Yes. They just got to be out there.
Yes. That's a key point because it's having the consistency, the discipline, and the patience to let the marketing work. Yeah. And let it curate. And people are again, they want instant gratification, instant results. And they won't stick with it. They won't realize that your marketing strategy or your marketing plan needs to be dialed out for the year, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you actually have a marketing, you plan to say, you know what, we're going to spend $50,000 this year or $100,000 for marketing. Take that money and allocate it to those different marketing strategies you're going to use and be patient with it. Mm-hmm. But also, again, you gotta review it. You got to analyze it and say, okay, this was the plan. Is it working? We're in the first quarter, did okay. Second quarter, let's give it another chance. Yeah. But you have to stay and be patient with it. Right.
Yeah. And to that point, keeping track of the marketing, reviewing those numbers, because I see that happen a lot. People will say, okay, I'm going to start tracking all this stuff. I'm going to get my call tracking numbers. And then they like set it all up. They're all proud, pat yourself on the back, and you never go back and look.
Never go back.
It's just gone, So what
do you think that happens? Because that's a big thing I see with some of the guys that I coach. They will not go back and look at that data. They wanted it though, right? Yeah. They wanted that data. They thought it was a cool
so bad. Right.
I want that cool dashboard, right?
But then they never go back. I think a lot of it is just the shiny object syndrome of being an entrepreneur. You're spinning so many plates. You're literally juggling constantly. So you do the thing, and then you just don't systemize the effort of looking at the data again.
That's key. Systemize.
So I know for me, what I had to do is bring those reports that were so important into my weekly meetings with my team and review it with, the office staff. And when I started sharing it with other people, it started holding me more accountable to actually doing the work and reviewing the work and saying, okay, this is how much we're getting from this channel. This is how much we're getting from this channel. And it made such a big difference just having a venue where it was on the agenda to take a look and to observe.
I like that you said on the agenda, because a lot of guys that are entrepreneurs, they will actually go into this marketing thing, right? When they go into this marketing thing, they're basically like, I really want to hand this off to someone, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Right.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah,
it's okay. But if you do delegate that, you are still responsible for it. It's still underneath your role. But you delegate it to, let's say, a marketing company. Because they're like, I got a marketing company. But they're not holding the marketing company accountable. They're not looking at any reports. They're just like, I got a marketing company. They handle that.
I've seen it happen so many times. I got a guy. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be marketing, branding, whatever. But, you wouldn't hire somebody to like run your front desk or answer the phones and never listen to a call or never give them training and never hold them accountable to it.
That's right.
You get out what you put in. And if you just are putting in money and forgetting about it, I don't know how many agencies, like you talk to your marketing agency and just ask them, like, if I can help you guys more in any way, like, what can I do? And they've got a list. There's things that they need from you, that they want from you, and they're just doing the best they can without those things. And it's because you're just, you throw it out there, you ignore them, but you got to stay involved.
You got to. We were talking about some good strategies, right? How do we implement some good strategies through maybe automation and creating ways that we can really have our businesses succeeding in marketing? You want to share some of those ideas that would be important for a business that's looking to say, how do I take advantage of, those leads, my customer base? What are some things that you could share with us that has been very beneficial and successful?
I mean, there's so many things that we want to talk about, look at. Text messaging is a big thing that we talked about, that we touched on. That was the biggest thing for that carpet cleaning company that I'm running, where we just started sending out text messages. And you kind of test it out a little bit first. We sent a couple and we're starting to make a little bit of money, and then schedule gets booked up. But it didn't really start affecting the bottom line until we systemized that.
And systemize it, right?
For us, all it wasn't any more complicated than we have a VA go in, build a list. We've got a couple different groups of different customer sizes, and they would just get a text message, and we would just send a different text message to a different group. So we're not overwhelming the phones, blasting every customer every time. We're trying to do it in a way that's not going to overwhelm people, so they unsubscribe from the text messages. But they're not complicated. Very simplistic, like, hey, been about a year since we cleaned for you last, you have any carpet cleaning needs, or looking to get an upholstery done,
Very, because those simple kind of services like that, like pressure washing, even HVAC,
right?
The list goes on and on. Those businesses don't reach out on a regular basis,
right?
Like maybe every 6 months or once a year, and let them know, hey, it's that time again,
right?
Or we see you on a schedule. We took care of you 12 months ago. We're going to be in the neighborhood, and we'd love to have you get you taken care of, right?
And I know we've been talking a lot about the technology side of things too, and we were kind of leading me down that path. What about that old school stuff that still works?
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, like asking for referrals, getting reviews,
those things
all
are
that
huge,
stuff.
Especially when you think about it, when there's like a tough time in the economy, right? People are not going to just jump on their computer and just start typing in and Google and search, right? That's not what people are doing. They're not looking to spend money. They're looking to save money.
Right.
So how can you actually become top of mind? Right. Some of this is like, I got to find a way to get in your head, get in your face.
Yeah.
And how do you do it? You're going to have to do boots on the ground, right?
Boots on the ground is great. Especially if we have customers, we're working with them. Everybody knows the value of getting a good referral. Most companies growing on referrals 100% for the first couple of years, like we don't even really touch marketing because we're just,
true.
Nana's telling your mom, and that's you just kind of spread naturally that way, right? But you could leverage that and take it up to 10 by asking. And I think we talk about that a lot in coaching, and you just kind of hear, oh, I've got to ask. So then you go and ask, not realizing there's a whole psychology behind this that can make that ask way more powerful.
Right.
So some of the things that I really like to leverage that you don't hear talked about a lot is getting a photograph with the person you did the service for. Really? Like, hey, we just did, your driveway, everything's looking great. Would you mind if I get a selfie with you? And then taking a selfie with them in front of the clean house that you just pressure washed. And then asking directly. You don't say, hey, can I get a referral? Because the answer is always like, yeah, sure, I'll think about it, I'll send you something.
Right.
What I like to do is, are there 5 people that you think could benefit from having a clean driveway or whatever you just cleaned for them? And they'll say, usually when you ask for the referral, they'll say, I'm thinking about it, I don't know. But you got to ask the second time, like,
yes,
what are there 5 people that you think would benefit from this? Is what I really, really like. And I say 5 people specifically because usually people can come up with like a person.
That's it. Yeah.
But you can always stretch your mind to come up with 5. And somebody asked me for 5, I would definitely hand those over.
Yes.
And now you've got that picture with that selfie. So what I do is text that picture and say, hey, I just met with your friend X. We did this for them.
I love that.
Do you need this as well? Because he's giving you that friend is giving you $100 off. It's like an irresistible offer. And you've already got that validation of here's a picture with me with your friend. So it's not just some random text message. It definitely takes it to the next level. And how that referral is actually going to do something with you. And I love that.
Dunk right there.
I love that as a strategy. And that's one of the things that you really got to push for. And you kind of hear me talk about this strategy. That just comes from not giving up on the referral.
Right.
You ask for a referral, maybe it doesn't work, and you build a strategy around how you do that. Like maybe you're not a person that's comfortable asking for a selfie, or you can't get your technicians to want to ask for a selfie. Like how do we start adjusting this and playing with it and finding that way that works? And that just comes from that what we were talking about before, testing and playing with stuff and systemizing.
That's because, again, marketing is playing the long game.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are playing the short game in
Right.
marketing. That's why they don't succeed.
Right.
Or they say, I'm not good at marketing.
Yeah.
Yes. The final thing that we want to really touch on is we are also having a conversation about like yard signs. And when people are doing yard signs, that's not systemized, right? You say, why does it have to be a system for yard signs? Well, how many are you giving out per day?
Right.
How many are you setting out to do per week?
Mm-hmm.
And is everyone on board with actually putting those in the vehicle? I have all the time, my clients, they're not even putting them in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Or they run out. That is just, I never like to hear when they say, oh, I ran out.
We ran
I got
out.
to place an order. Are you serious, dude? You gotta place an order. You ran out.
But
they're supposed to be coming in a week.
They're coming in a week. Well, that's systems, right?
Yes.
We've got inventory. We know when an inventory gets to this, we got this much lead time. We're going to order them, so we're just going to have them. And then holding your people accountable to putting those yard signs out.
Yes, holding them accountable.
Yard signs is one of those things that's so often overlooked because it's so simple. The sign costs less than $1. You put it in somebody's yard, and it's one of the biggest things you can do for brand recognition, especially if you're operating in a local business area. I have one person that I was coaching who just fell in love with the yard signs, and he was dedicated to it. And he reported that after putting these yard signs out and doing it for years, it was the biggest thing that led to his brand recognition. Like people recognized his brand, and it was like he had this big TV commercial or something, but he just had been putting yard signs out consistently for years, taking that time. Like you said, 5 years to build a brand. He'd been doing it for about 3 or 4 years. Biggest thing he ever did for his brand recognition. So now when people Google him or see him, they recognize the name. They're way more likely to call him because he put his brand on those yard signs and made sure to put them out religiously. And it worked.
Love that.
So we've been talking a lot about marketing, postcards, feet on the street strategies, getting referrals. Housecall Pro has a lot of tools for this in the marketing center.
They do. And I want to turn this to our marketing center with Roland, Ben, and Will right now.
They're going to give you some great insights on how you can actually use Housecall Pro to tackle all these things that we were talking about.
Awesome. So we just learned a little bit about how valuable your customers actually are to your business, not just getting new ones, but also your existing ones. We're going to talk about Housecall Pro Marketing Center. I've got two experts here that have been with Housecall Pro for a very long time. We have Ben Borenstein with Prime Electric, and we have Will Hardwick for A1 Cleaning Services, both here today. Thanks for joining, you guys. Of course. Yeah. All right. And so let's talk a little bit about what it means to market to your existing customer database. You guys spend a lot of money to get these clients in. Inside of Marketing Center, we have emails, SMS, postcard, all kinds of things. What is your favorite method, Ben? Is there one that wins or is it a mix? Tell us a little bit about kind of your philosophy as you think about it.
So I use Marketing Center to broadcast and market my existing clientele. I send out emails twice a month to customers about different promotions that we're offering and discounts to be able to win back additional business from clients, especially in an economy that is doing not so well now compared to previous years. We feel that in order to regain or keep our business flowing and consistently have a lot of business, getting in touch with our existing client base is extremely important. And by re-engaging with our clients, using the Marketing Center, by sending them emails, sending them SMS messages, reminding them of our services, and keeping us in mind for all their electrical needs, it's been huge. It's brought us a lot of business.
What about you, Will? What's your philosophy as you're thinking about your existing client? Because you've got a whole bunch of recurring business, clearly, as a cleaning service. Are you thinking about it any differently than Ben is? Are you thinking similarly? What's kind of the channel that you like the best?
Well, like Ben said, I do a lot of the follow-up with it. So I mainly use it for the carpet cleaning because carpet cleaning services, the lifetime value of a carpet cleaning client isn't like the maid department where that is a consistent recurring cleaning and that. So I'm not really sending them postcards like, hey, whatever, but with the carpet cleaning, we got to remind them, in 6 months or whatever, or coming up to the holidays and that. So we have an email program that sends them a little Benny where it's just say, hey, it's been a while since you've had your carpets cleaned. You got a 15% discount if you call us now. And then they're also getting a postcard in the mailbox. So that's kind of what we do for retention of the customer. But I have been experimenting with postcards for leads. So what I'll do is I'll use the lead program in Housecall Pro, and build up a client. Oh, that building, and get that information in, get that address in. I'll tag those customers as customers that are prospects. I'll run a postcard report, and then I'll send out. I develop with the AI a really cool imagery, and then I just have that thing on auto, and it'll send every couple of months.
What do you guys think is something that other people might not be thinking about when it comes to marketing that really resonates with homeowners today? So if you are a pro in any industry, what's something that is kind of unique or a different value proposition you guys are putting out there that really helps kind of draw in those customers or create something irresistible for them to at least reach back out to you guys?
I will say we keep a very personal approach. We use the Marketing Center's automations and the workflows to regularly contact the customer and keep it personal and keep the emails and the text messages in line with the work that we actually did for them. So using different tags. I use tags a lot, and that's also very popular and very powerful in Marketing Center because I can tag different clients and different specific jobs that I've done, and then I can send emails to the clients based on the type of job we did for them. So clients, again, not only am I saying, hey, John, we have the service, we say, hey, how's that panel upgrade that we did for you? How is that going for you? You're due for a service. Or we do annual reminders for smoke alarm. We install smoke alarm, so you need to replace the batteries annually. So we would send out, using Marketing Center, I would send out emails or SMS, and I would say, hey, it's time to replace your battery in your smoke alarms, or it's time to go ahead and do a safety check and make sure your panel is fully calibrated and torqued and so forth. Yeah. So we use Marketing Center for all that, and tags are huge as well on that.
Yeah. And I think, the key theme here that I'm just really listening and gathering is, you're going above and beyond by tagging your customers very specifically. Right. And so I hear this a lot, where people are looking for really high fidelity, really precise filters, but they're not able to get there. But it's most oftentimes the case that they're not using tags, job tags, field, whatever it is, job type, if you're not using those tags, you're not going to be able to get this level of personalization. So with Marketing Center, just know you can make use of those things. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be able to get a lot more value out of that product just from a pure rebooking standpoint.
Yeah, and running reports.
Yeah.
And so you can do as many tags as you want, and later you can clean up that tag list at another time and combine the tags and that. So don't be afraid to use tags. That's really important. Yep.
Not sure if I'm supposed to talk about the pricing, but Marketing Center is very affordable.
Yeah.
It's very affordable. It's like $89 a month plus usage. The one booking that you get from the product in a month pays for itself time and time again. I get a ton of bookings that come in through the Marketing Center, through the campaigns that I do. So it's a no-brainer.
When you guys are thinking about just reviews and referrals as a part of driving organic new business to your guys' business, clearly you guys both have stellar reviews. You guys have both, I haven't last count, hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews. What's the strategy there for optimizing that? Because Housecall Pro will automatically ask for reviews, but are you doing anything beyond that to really boost that? Or like, how are you getting that customer excited to leave that review?
Yeah. So first, of course, we send out a text message to every client after we do a job, and we say, hey, we want to make sure you're satisfied. You'll be having a review request coming your way. If there's any issues with the work or anything, please call us. Secondly, a day after the job is done, my office staff reaches out to the customers and follows up. It says, hey, we were at your home yesterday. We completed the job. Just wanted to make sure that everything is fine, that you're satisfied. How are our technicians? Is everything cleaned up? Is everything organized? Do you have any questions, any feedback for us, positive or negative? We like to get customer feedback. What we found is that customers who have any frustration in them, anything that they didn't like, the fact that I'm giving them that opportunity to vent out and to speak to us and give us the opportunity to correct it really reduces the amount of any possible bad review. And in a lot of cases, it could be something very minor. It could be something as far as they just want to be acknowledged, or they just want to know that there's somebody up there in the office staff in a managerial role that's willing to listen and to take feedback.
What about you? What do you have in your processes that you built in? Because you guys have been around for a while, but your reviews are like out of control.
Yeah, they are. They're really amazing. It's really great for the branding. What we do is from the very first point of hiring the employee, we're boasting about our reviews in the lobby when the employee is coming in. So before the interview process that somebody's coming into the company, we're wowing them and going, hey, this is the standard we're looking for. We're looking for a leader. We're looking for an entrepreneur that's going to come into the company. So they know that when they go out on the grade, when the maids go out on the grade or the carpet cleaners go out on the grade, that one, they're going to be reviewed. And that's going to be for the company too. So there's this high standard of all the staff. So that's the number one, that they're going to be compelled to give that review because they're just blown away by service. So doing that is really important. And then we, like Ben does, we reward. We have a program in our internal system that we communicate. It's called Karma. So everybody gets boasted in the company. The review is posted in our internal thing. Hey, and a funny cartoon character comes up or whatever, and yada yada you got this review, and they're getting 5 karma, and then they're able to claim those karma points at the end of the month to get a massage gift card to go to gas card or local grocery mart. And I get an email every week on Monday or Sunday of how many reviews we've gotten, and and that. So yeah, that's kind of what we do.
I love how you guys are mixing both the automation side of it and asking for it, but also adding this extra layer of personal touch, and then also involving the employees from the day they walk in the door to interview before they even get there. So I think, as you can see, making sure to set up the automations for reviews in Marketing Center, getting referrals through there, super important, but you got to augment it also. It doesn't take away all the work. And these tools aren't just for marketing teams. These tools are for pros, just like you. So get in there, dig into it, use the different audiences, segments, things you can build, create those automations, make it super personal. And if you do the segments and the tagging correctly, you can get the most out of the Marketing Center. And like Ben said, that ROI is just going to be there right out of the gate within your first customer. You paid for it for the entire year. So get out there, play around. Ben, Will, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course,
that was
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
You guys.
Good stuff, guys. Now we know how to turn every job site into a lead machine. If you're ready to put these strategies into action, head over to our breakout sessions. You'll see how Housecall Pro tools like Marketing Center with Marketing AI and postcards can help you stay connected with customers, drive more referrals, and turn every job into the next big opportunity. Pick your breakout and let's keep the momentum rolling.